Hello, welcome back to the podcast. This is Harmony, your podcast host. Today, we're going to be talking all about money, mindset, and manifestation. I have the amazing Sahori Smitham here with us today. She is a life designer and manifestation specialist, helping women who are feeling lost or overwhelmed turn their lives around and create the life that they have always dreamt of. She doesn't believe that we as women should just pause our dreams when we become a mother or stop growing as a person. Sahori is a mother of two. She's originally from Japan, but now calls Australia home. So welcome to the podcast, Sahori.
Thank you. I love that intro. Make me cry.
Oh, you're so beautiful.
That's so cool.
Oh. Well, I'm really happy to have you. And this is such an awesome topic. Like, money mindset is huge. And I'm always talking to my clients about it and my students in the Ayurveda Alchemist program. We do a lot of business modules and modules around money mindset. It's so important. And also manifestation. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions about manifestation and what it is and how it actually works. So I would love to get into all of that with you. But before we get started, I always kick off with my rapid inspiration questions, just so that our listeners can get a little feel for who you are. So could you please inspire us with what your superpower is?
So my superpower is igniting people's inner purpose, inner talent. We all have this, and my superpower is just kind of getting in there and it's just bringing up to the surface. Then also help them to release all the doubt and all the inner bully to get rid of that and they start to really living into the alignment with their own life. So that's my superpower.
Beautiful. And what's your favorite quote or mantra at the moment?
Oh, there's a heaps, but at the moment, my practice at the moment is I am always guided to the right path. So that's my quote at the moment, to trust this process.
I love that. And who or what is inspiring you at the moment?
Okay, at the moment is this lady is a Japanese lady I just found it through the YouTube. So yeah, her name is Junko, but she is teaching us the vibration. So at the moment, it's really inspired me to learning deeper about the vibration, or we often call energy or vibe. So we can attract more, we can be healthier more, actually physically healthier more too. So I am really geeking on to that at the moment.
Beautiful. Well, to kick off the actual episode, I would love to start with knowing a little bit more about you, Sahori, and what brought you all the way to Australia from Japan.
Yes, so when I was 23, so I am actually more than half of my age is here. And initially I came here for just purely wanted to speak English because I wanted to work at a particular company, needed to speak English. So I was going to come here just for 1 year, and I had a boyfriend at that time. So I wanted to go back and marry him and all that. I planned all that, but never worked out. And somehow I kind of stuck in here leading naturally. So I never planned to live here. I never even dreamt to living in a different country. Having said that, I'm not necessarily like Japanese culture or Japanese way of living, and I never liked that, but I never planned it. So almost like I get guided to be here, guided to be where I am. I think that's how it's really natural progress.
Australia was just calling you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's been home for a while for you then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 24 years, I think.
Wow, yeah.
I 25.
Wow.
I feel old.
Yeah. I was actually in Japan just before the whole breakout of COVID. So I think I was there around January, just before it all happened. So my very last overseas holiday was actually Japan. And it was amazing. Went snowboarding. Yeah. It was really awesome. So when and how did you start helping women with your lives? How did you get into the business that you're in? Would you like to explain a little bit about, you know, what a life designer and manifestation specialist actually does and how that came to be?
Yeah. So initially, my kids was 2, so I have 2 kids, and the younger one was 2 years old. I think even before that, I think first child I have postnatal depression, but that time I didn't really recognize that, or didn't even. I was just too busy, right? Just too busy to think about. I just want to have a sleep. So I'm blaming for, maybe because this is a new mom thing. Maybe this is just a lack of sleep. So I didn't even look in deep. Then I had a child straight away. But second child was really badly depressed, and I was literally crying every single day. I didn't want to get up. I want to just stuck in a corner of the room and just hide. But we can't we? Because if we have 2 years old and the baby, we got to get up. And I get up, and I remember that the day kids was so happy playing on a trampoline. They have no health issue or anything, and they are good kids. But I really felt how unhappy I was. Then that moment I realized, oh my God, that moment I realized I was so depressed. Then my friend, she's a life coach, and then she crossed over to say, what's wrong? What's going on? And I said, I'm just really not happy. Then she told me this one sentence, said, Sahori, you are creating this reality. Your thought is your reality. And that really harsh to hear that, because that time I wanted to blame everybody and everything. But I realized, oh my God, is this my fault? That was kind of eye-opening for me. That moment I decided to do really geeking into looking in my brain, setting the mindset to really align. The more I did it, I realized, oh my God, so many women, we don't live with a dream anymore because it's just so busy. We are kind of like a busy become new normal. So it's a busy, living with busy is okay, become okay, and they stop dreaming. And most of my clients said is, I don't even know what I want in my life. That's really sad. And then we showing that to our children, and our children is going to be inspired too, because all the other adults living in a day-to-day survival mode, not creation mode. So all that kids going to become uninspired too, and that's really made me sad. So that's why I decided to do, okay, I'm going to teach this one to people. This is a completely new way of living for people. So I'm going to teach that. So that's how I decided to create a course, create a program. So I'm going to talk more. I think that are going to probably coming up later on, but I think just initially we have to break the habit of the old way of living to new way of living. So I want to be the supporter and a cheerleader to break the habit and started creating a new life. That's how my business kind of created.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing that story with us. It's a very challenging, tough times. I totally understand mother to mother how hard it can be when you
yes, and I'm sure a lot of people feel that, and it's normal.
And like, yes, we think of postnatal depression in those early times when you have children, but there's so many times throughout the years of raising those children where you can still feel really lost, and those feelings are still very valid no matter how old your children are. And I think it's really important to find within yourself and find your passions and what you love, or something that lights you up, so that you can still feel like yourself, as well as a wonderful, amazing mother and this person. But there's so much more depth to us than being mums, and motherhood is one of the greatest gifts, and it's one of the most challenging but most rewarding jobs out there. So I'm not sort of demising that being a mother, but there's a lot more depth to us than just these singular identities that we line ourselves up with. So
yeah, totally. So important.
And it must have been really hard for you to hear when you're in the most vulnerable space and you're like crying and feeling depressed, and someone goes, "You're creating this reality," and you're like, "Wait a minute, piss off." Like, I did not. I just gave back.
Okay, I was very positive to taking that thing as a hope. So it worked out
really well, because I would have been like, "Okay, get out of my house." And then I would have been like thinking about it and going, yeah, you know what? It is true. Like I've felt even recently, I've been under a lot of pressure. I've got so much going on. I'm studying a master's degree. I've got my own children. Wow. I'm running a business, launching a program. I've got, all the things, or renovating house and stuff. And I feel even myself, I've been having to tell myself, like, you're creating, I mean, there is a lot of busyness going on for sure, but you're also creating more busyness in your own mind harmony, because you're constantly stewing over things at the moment. And so I always have to come back to my roots of like that Ayurveda psychology and really settle the mind in that way. And it's really important, I think, to recognize that yes, you are creating your reality in some way. Your thoughts have such a great impact on how you're living out your day to day. And we can really flip that, but it can be really challenging and hard to hear that. And it can also be very challenging to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. You need a lot of strength to do that.
Yeah, you do need a lot of strength. So I would love to talk to you more about that, and also how you bring manifestation, because manifestation is, I guess, like a formula of thought patterns really that help you bring to life what your greatest desires. And there's many ways to do that. So I would love to know how you help women change their thought patterns and curate the life of their dreams through manifestation. And do you have a certain manifesting formula that you teach your clients?
My formula is pretty much follow through very basic idea of the manifestation, like Esther Hicks talk about it, Abraham Hicks, like someone probably familiar, that's just law of attraction guru person. She's amazing. I read a book about it, and I follow the formula, which is you ask, you put the desire out there, and the universe gonna bring it to you. So that's not your job, universe's job, or God, whatever you call angel or guide, whatever doesn't really matter the name is. And to me, I always say universe. So universe is going to bring it to you, then you have to receive it. So that's just a basic principle of it. And it's a super simple, but in each step had a depth on, or not number two, because you're not doing that part. Number one and number three, those first and the third step got a deeper practice you need to do. So I'm kind of like teaching people for that depth of it. Say, for example, for the asking part, are we actually asking what we really want? Or are we asking something what other people want? Are we asking something society want? We have to really connecting the deep desire of us. Otherwise, we often say, all right, we have the cultural idea of who the mother to be. This is a mother, ideal mother, but do you really want it? You got to really ask that sort of question. And so I kind of more teaching people more depth of each step. The formula is still ask and the universe bring in and you receive it. But depth is something you need to practice on. And I just had something in my mind. For asking part, a lot of people doesn't ask what you really deeply want because you feel like you're not worthy of it. For example, let's keep in the money topic. I want to have more money, but when you say I want more money, you feel greedy. how could we ask more money if someone's struggling for money? All those thoughts popping in. So there you place more. So that depth of it, like I teach people. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's something that I also teach in my Ayurveda Alchemist program and to my clients, on my Thrive clients, even if they're coming to see me for hormonal health or gut health, whatever that may be in my Thrive program. There's a session in there if they wish to go deep into limiting core beliefs, because a lot of those core beliefs can get in the way of healing, like your physical health, your mental health, but also when we're talking about money manifestation, you have to work on those limiting core beliefs before you can call in and bring in more money, because you have to be living in this place of a higher vibration to be able to attract that to you. If you've got yes, I want more money, but I'm feeling guilty, I'm not feeling worthy, like you're almost repelling that, because that's not the vibration you're on. And we think of money as like, some people might have a poor outlook on money, like it can cause fighting, it can cause greed, or it can cause all of these things. But money is just an object, but it has its own vibrational frequency. And at the moment, in our day and time, we just use that as an exchange for a service or product. And people put so much power onto money. And yes, it does have its own certain power, like you can buy beautiful things the more you have, but at the end of the day, it's just an energy exchange. So I think that sometimes we need to really look at it for what it is. Even in the olden days, before money was even a thing, people were still maybe exchanging a goat for a few pumpkins. I don't know what it was, but they were exchanging things. It's just that energetic exchange. And that's what it's like when we're trying to manifest things into our life. We have to be at that same energetic point with what we're trying to draw in. And if we're talking about money, we need to get on that higher good vibration of what money is. Like money in the right hands can be a wonderful, beautiful tool. Absolutely. It can have a really high vibration. I mean, money has helped people through really hard times. It has built housing for people that don't have houses. It has, fed people who don't have food. It has done a lot of amazing things. It has set up families, having these wonderful adventures together. So it has a beautiful high vibration. And if you can feel that, and if you can see that, and if you can feel that you can be part of that, then when you're calling that in, you will be on more of that level. But if you have those underlining core beliefs of, money's bad, or I don't deserve it, then it's going to be hard.
So you can even practice, I like that to sometimes practice myself, is that just think as energy. So you started using what you have a lot of it. Maybe it could be time. You have a lot of time in your head. Maybe you have a lot of love in your hands. So you just collaborating with that, and it just think as that's as money as well. So that energy will expand. So your money, the actual physical money part is expand as well. You can kind of play with that game too.
Amazing. So for those who are skeptical, did I say that right? Skeptical.
Yeah, you did.
I said that right. Hang on, it sounded funny coming out of my mouth then. But skeptical about manifestation and how it actually works. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, so I want you to ask yourself, if that's that person, someone skeptical, I want you to ask yourself, if you can create your life easily and you don't have to work hard for it, don't you want it? Or if you change your reality or people or surrounding, like a lot of people complaining about government, climate change, husband, kids, teenager, friends, in-law, instead of you try to focus on to try to change those things, if you change it, those things is going to change. Don't you want it? Don't you think that's heaps easier because you can do it? And I want to ask that question first. And then if that answer is yes, why don't you try? Let's have a fun, nothing, it's not going to cost anything. you don't have to buy anything. You just have to change this you already have. And you're thinking it anyway. You're just choosing a different thought. And you choose, once you started to choosing a different thought, you attracting different people, different situation, different reality, and your feeling will change and attract more different things. It's just quite simple. So if someone's skeptical, I want you to ask those questions. And if that answer is yes, play little game, like say, I want to receive gift by end of the day, or something like that, like something fun. Or I do the car park all the time. I'm gonna find the car park in the right spot, in that spot. That person come out straight away. And I get that all the time. And that sort of fun, just have fun. And they started to doing that. And then you see the evidence of it. So you can kind of like breaking the skeptical little by little that way.
Amazing. And as I mentioned before, as myself, as an Ayurveda practitioner, I value obviously a really healthy mindset, and we often go into depth with my clients regarding limiting core beliefs and other aspects of Ayurvedic psychology. But from your own experience, how did a healthy mindset and manifestation help you generally in life? And did you have to work through any limiting core beliefs yourself when you started this process? Because it seems like there's a long road from, you being crying with postnatal depression to where you are now. Like, it seems a massive transformation. And I'm sure that some limiting core beliefs would have challenged you along the way.
There's heaps, and it's constant. It's not like, like I probably you heard this many times, and a lot of the audience heard this a lot of times. It's just onion peeling situation, isn't it? Or I often say that as clothes. You cannot take bra off before t-shirts off. You cannot take undies off before pants off situation. You got to take that one at a time. So it's just kind of never-ending transformation. But I love that, because every time you change the mindset, that will grow as a person, grow as a soul, grow, reality will grow as well. So my biggest one, biggest for money is, money has to come from hard working, time consuming, hard working. That was definitely biggest my mindset about money, because I'm coming from Japan. Those are people working till midnight and then miss the last train and stay in a capsule hotel. That's just normal for them. And then so I have to really work on that, to now creating the belief of I can make money is in a flow. And since then, since I started to believing the fully concreted believing that, I got now time freedom and money freedom. So another thing was, I would nowhere in the world I could start a business, because my father had a business whole time in his life. He never worked in a corporate. He always kind of very different alternative compared to normal Japanese guy. And he bankrupted when he was 60. He lost literally everything. And luckily my mom had that secret saving money. So they saved that one little tiny apartment. That's where they live now. So just imagine in my head, oh my God, it doesn't matter how much you work hard, you're going to lose it anyway. So almost this is coming into the fear of success, isn't it? Fear of success, fear of losing the money. So I need to really work on that so I can start the business. So there is constant, and at the moment I'm working on is more believing in myself, not so much of the money, but believing in myself, and really trusting the process. That's why the quote coming in, trusting the process, trusting myself, and trusting the universe, and trusting the whole thing. And then that's kind of working. So it's really constant. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yeah. And yes, I 100% agree. It's always constant, and you get through one limiting core belief, or you get through, one challenge that makes you believe that you can or you can't do something, and then you finally feel like you've mastered that, and then a whole new challenge arises for you.
Yes.
Like the universe is always giving you these things to unpack so that you can evolve and grow, and it can be really uncomfortable and really challenging at times.
Yeah.
As you said, it's like it just keeps growing, and you as a person keeps growing. So that's, yeah, you've done amazing. I love your story and what you have done and how much work you've done on yourself. It's really inspiring to see all of that. And so thank you for sharing with us.
But that's why I think is that you are doing amazing job as what you do. I think it's a lot of people need accountability for that, because we already know that's coming. So we kind of like honing into, okay, here you go, that's again. But anyone started as a news, wanted to change mindset, or want to be healthy, or want to be incorporating Ayurvedic, so become psychologically healthy and emotionally healthy. And they need you to do taking hands and then tell you you're okay, this is what it is. And that's why coach or therapist are all coming into that part, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. And are you able to share with us any experiences that your clients have gone through making the shift with their money mindset, or things that they've manifested?
Yeah, so one of the clients, Malala, she's from Malaysia, and she is a pranic healer. Like I'm pranic healer too, and she's a pranic healer, and she is amazing pranic healer. She is really almost, she got a very strong psychic skill for that, so she can actually see what's the energy happening in the body, and it's amazing. But she can't not charge people. She constantly doing for free. And the more we work on it, we notice her worthiness of the money. And she is just don't have that any receiver place. Like she is not receiving anything, not just the money, for a lot of different things. So since we started to working on it, now I give it the process, like, I'm not gonna all of a sudden jump, depend on the client. Some clients need a little nudge, some clients need a big push. It's all different. I kind of intuitively choose that, what's the task I give to them. And for her, now she's started to doing the free healing session quite often, maybe quite deep healing, especially for pandemic time. She was doing a lot of healing work for the COVID patient. That's all did for free. And then now, through those work, she not even looking for the clients, paid clients, they come to her to say, I want to pay you. Please take my money. And so that's I think is the greatest the result for the money story. Definitely that is the one.
Yeah, wonderful. And so I've got another question. I guess if people are listening to this and they're like, okay, I'm going to start manifesting, I'm going to change my money mindset, or I'm going to, whatever they might want to manifest, like a new partner or a beautiful house or more money or a career, they start the process and they start to change their thought patterns and they start to call that into the universe. But then they see nothing happening, like their situation isn't changing and they feel stuck and that they've tried it. What would you say to those people in that place who have tried it before and maybe it hasn't worked, or they're just not seeing any results with just calling it in?
That's really, really common. And I was there, 100% I was there. That's why I dig deeper, more in a deeper level. So as I said in the beginning, ask and you receive. So those are part I was trying to do, doing affirmation, do the visualization. That's a super surface level of the manifestation. You have to really go deep. So anyone is struggling, like you can easily to manifest a small thing, but it comes to the money or comes to the business, comes to the partner, or comes to the losing weight or health. So hard, I cannot manifest it. You have to go deeper. And almost an easy practice you can do, find a contradiction. So for example, anyone say, for example, want to have more money, but if you have thinking, oh yeah, I want to have money, but I have to work hard, is if quietly saying that, that's a core belief. So kind of like secretly you manifesting not having money because you don't want to work hard. Does it make sense? It's a contrast. Same thing as maybe partner. You wanted to have partner, but contradiction of, I don't want to really spend time all the time with that person. I love my freedom. That's a contradiction. So you have to really hone into that. Okay, what's the deep place? I really don't want this. What is the fear of not stepping into start a business? What is the real fear not having partner? What is it? You just have to really ask your body. You got all the answer within you. For that, you need to really practice living in the present moment, practice mindfulness. That's why my use and program is a start from that mindfulness practice is the first, because without awareness, you can't find anything. So I think I manifested quite good because my awareness is just super strong. Self-awareness is so strong. So that's why I can see. It's not always positive. Sometimes I beat myself up for that because I find it so much. But yeah, so that's the definitely first step you can do. Find a contradiction and be aware of that.
Wonderful. So you really have to find where that fear is coming from, the fear, that opposing vibration of why you may be opposing it. And you have to really feel deeply into how it would feel to have it and get into that energetic space. And I would also say that in my experience, I mean, you can't just manifest a big blooming business. Like, you actually have to physically go out there and do this inspired action and talk to people and connect with people. Like, that's part of creating that energy, serving on that energetic level. You don't just sit at home doing your shanti ring all the things without or go I'm going to manifest a Porsche today, and it pops up on your driveway. No, you have to
take action.
Yeah, take action, but keep that vibration of knowing that it can be yours and feeling it and feeling the right way about it. But like you said, also notice if there's any fear about that and where that's coming from. So there's so much into it, rather than just sitting there thinking good thoughts and giving yourself positive affirmations and all of those things. It's a real process and a deep unraveling sort of process.
100%.
Yeah, beautiful. So I guess for one of our final questions is, for those who are struggling to handle their money and finances right now, and they have listened to this and they feel inspired, but they're still unsure of what action step they can actually do right now, where could they start? What's their starting point look like?
Starting point for anyone already knows about the manifestation, or is that they have no idea? It's kind of depends.
If they have heard of it, but they're not really doing anything
yeah, definitely first step, probably really clear of what you really want. So that's, we often talk about this, or clarity. It's not just like, I want more money, but what sort of money do you want? Is that money coming in? Once money coming in, why do you want money? What money bring it to you? So this, when you started to really deep into the what's money bringing to you, you can connect to the feeling, because money itself doesn't make you feel, sometimes make you feel negative, right? Depending on what's the core belief is. But once you start to say, I want money to coming in with the ease and flow, so I can experience the freedom, so I can have the lunch whenever I want, I can go to surf every time I want, every time wave is good, I don't have to restrict it over the time, and I can stay home mom. That was my biggest thing. I wanted to be, I know it's so hard work, stay home mom, but some reason I want want it. And I wanted to be stay-home mom, and then, stay when kids come home, and I want to be home for them. That's what I really wanted. And also, what that money gonna bring, that emotionally bring it to us. So you wanted to really hone into that. That's definitely the first step. Then really watch that, like a police, like your own police. You watch what you're thinking, what you're saying about money, or what you're saying about the things you want. Say, are you saying to friends that, oh, that the speeding bill is just came in, and or I just constantly not have money, or are you complaining about money all the time? Then instead of changing that, because in Japan we have the words called kotodama. Kotodama means language with the soul. So each language you speak, they have the soul, like energy attached to it. So you started to talking good thing about money, good thing about the dream you wanted to have, and then so talking about good thing about yourself. So you have to really watch what you thought, how you feel, what you believe, then going to those limiting beliefs, then finally going to affirmation and visualization. So that's the first step. Probably do it's a heaps deeper. But if you're gonna ask me for first step, the clarity, and watch the thought, and be really aware, and be in the present moment.
Thank you for sharing that. And what was that Japanese word? I love that.
Kotodama, Kotodama.
So your language has a soul. I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
I love that concept so much. So thank you for sharing that as well. Sahori, thank you for sharing everything, your insights, your story with us regarding money mindset and manifestation as well. It's been really wonderful having you on the podcast today. And I'm sure everyone listening has got a lot out of this, and are going to feel inspired to go live their most inspired best life, and change their vibration and their thoughts and everything like that. But before we say goodbye to you, is there any parting words that you would like to share with our listeners? And also, can you share where we can find you?
I want you to lead everybody have something in it. What this is your purpose, your talent. Even though you believing, I'm not special, or I often used to say that myself too. I'm not special. I don't have any career. I don't have any degree or anything. We all have something in it. So I really want you to encourage. I really want to encourage people to really find out, ignite those things. That's so important. And then almost like be selfish. This is some message I have, is be selfish. Spend time for your self-healing and self-transformation. Because when you heal, when you change, everybody gonna change. So that means you can change the world. You can change kids. Instead of you try to figure it out how to change kids, or how to help them to become confident. Why don't you to be confident, so you can kind of become one, so you attract more of that. So change must start from within you. So be selfish for your self-transformation. Like maybe you need to spend money for yourself, invest the money for yourself, maybe invest the time for yourself. And don't think that's selfish things to do, because a lot of mom especially to feel that I don't have time, I'm too busy doing kids sports, I'm too busy doing kids stuff, and they're always going for someone else. But take special minute, like take half an hour or 1 hour, that, or just once a weekend. Doesn't really matter. Make that time for yourself, because once you transform yourself, outside will 100% change. And if you need help, like a guidance sort of thing. So you of course find me on the Instagram, Facebook, and the website. I have exactly just name sahorismitham.com. And also I have a group called Ignite in True Potential. I do free reading, free healing, guided meditation throughout the week. I'm going to do after this, do the reading. So if something like need help, I do a lot of free workshop and stuff that's helpful for you. Reach out, like that you can find a link in Instagram and also website as well, or just search it in Facebook.
I will put your link in the show notes for
Wonderful.
the episode as well, so you can click right over there. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Harmony, for having me.
Thank you. Namaste, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.